Welcome to Codex. Okay, it's Gray. We're doing a quick tier list for Jujutsu piece. We have our options down here, and we're going to just go ahead and start. I'm going to go down the list, and I'll demonstrate what's best for what and how it should be used. We have our PvE S tier, PvP S tier. There are two different ways to use things: A, B, C, D, Womp Womp, and support required, meaning that you will need them either way. Alrighty, let's start with ISOH V1 and V2. That's automatically for PvP S tier. This is the best melee weapon you can be using in PvP. Hand of Attraction is your best PvE melee. Construction, D tier. It does some pretty decent damage. It is not otherwise usable. If you have any fruit, womp womp to you. You suck. You don't suck. Just get off of a fruit. You don't want to use it. Thunderpole is the best PvP melee. Limitless, best PvE up here. Vessel is the best PvP. Gambling Train is a solid A tier with blood following in B tier. Curse Speech is an A tier for its stun. Straw Dolls and C tier still broken. Divergent Fist is D tier. It does good damage as early, you need it. Black Flash is, I'm going to put it in A tier. Geppo is required. Claws of Destruction is your PvP style. These three are right here, are going to be the only things that ever end up there, except for, the other things in A tier. Hockey, needed in support. All right. Frost is a B tier until it gets fixed. Curse Spear, A tier for what it is. Slaughter Demons, C tier, absolutely horrible. I can't recommend it one bit. Blunt Sword, C tier. 1SS is, I'm going to put it in Womp Womp. Early game, go for it. 2SS, A tier. 3SS, B tier. This is the simplest way you can run things. Let's be honest. I just wanted to make this video quickly. There's a hurricane coming tomorrow. I wanted to make sure I get this video out for y'all. Now we'll go down the list one more time. Okay. Hand of Attraction in PvE, Thunderpole in PvE, Limitless in PvE. All of these are usable in PvP. I actually recommend Hand of Attraction over Claws of Destruction. However, its AoE makes it really good for AFK grinding. The PvP here, ISOH, good for combos. Vessel, amazing with combos. And Claws of Destruction, it's nothing but stuns and combos. This whole thing is just to make sure you keep the fight up and the other enemies that you're fighting cannot. Gambling Train is a newer ability still. It doesn't have the best gauge on it. However, it is a pretty middle area between Limitless and Cause of Destruction. It is nowhere near as good. It does some big damage, but otherwise it just fills a mythic slot. Curse Speech is a really good stun. If you don't have any of these other abilities, you might as well be using this. Black Flash is your next up above Divergent Fist. This is right. If you can't get the Style Orb for some reason, this is your next best option. Curse Spear, if you can't afford ISOH and don't want to grind out for the V2, you might as well use that. 2SS is really good for PvE combos. It just stuns the boss. There you go. Flood Manipulation is pretty okay. AoE damage, you got some good range, you might as well use it. Frost is still really broken, so I don't recommend using it. That's why it's in B tier, middle B tier. In fact, I'm going to put it at the end of B tier. I'm going to put Gambling Train top, Curse Speech here, Curse Spear here. Let's get these up here. Yeah. There we go. C tier, we have the Straw Doll. They fixed Straw Doll. It does really good combos. It doesn't have the amount of abilities that other things do, but it does really decent damage. If you're just early on starting, if you don't want to go for any of the other ones, you might as well use that. Slaughter Demon is one of the first. It's after you get your grade up, this is the first other weapon you can get without grinding for the Blunt Sword. It's $450,000, I think. In the end, it does okay damage. You have some combos you can throw on bosses. I really wouldn't suggest it otherwise, other than just having it in your collection like I do. D, Construction and Divergent Fist. Divergent Fist is a really good style, but you're eventually going to upgrade it into Black Flash. Just leave it at that. Construction is the most common and literally the most basic. It does a whole lot of damage, but it's extremely ugly. It doesn't have good combos, and it's just not worth getting. If you have it, drop it. Give it to somebody else. Give it to some noob. I don't know. Just don't keep it. Or if you do, keep it for your collection. Otherwise, you don't need it. The Womp Womp tier are literally every fruit in the game. Until there was a better fruit in the game, I cannot suggest even touching them. If you get them, keep them, drop them, whatever. Don't use them. It is not worth it at all. 1SS is the first weapon, melee weapon you can actually purchase. It's for 1,000 coin. Buying a melee weapon that early instead of just going with your melee skill over a sword is not worth it because you need that stamina early on so you can use your skills at least until you get some items and equipables. Geppo and Hockey, you will always need these. This makes your defense higher and you have better damage. This lets you move around a lot faster, get between the islands. Which if you use fruit, you just drown, so don't use it. Other than that, thank you for watching. Also, look, my little cat dude. Ain't he cute? Alrighty.